This is Lavish Lair, the peak of Fortnite living, a symbol for the ultra wealthy and elite. The real question is, can you afford it, and how much is Lavish Lair worth? How often do you go on Zillow and look at your dream house? That 5-bedroom, 4-bath, 5,500 square foot mansion on 25 acres of land? Maybe you're on Zillow looking for a condo, or a townhouse, or a castle, or even your dream location on the Fortnite island. Thankfully, Fortnite makes it easy enough to figure out the exact dimensions of a location just by pinging it. So I figured I would start with the grounds of Lavish Lair. Just like anyone else in the real world, I would stake the 4 corners of the property and ping each wood stake to figure out how big the property really was. Now, this video took a lot more effort than I ever thought it would. Who knew that pinging each wall of each room, adding it up, and converting from meters to square feet? You get the picture. But please go down and smash that like button and hit that subscribe button, and let's get right into it. Now, after I set up all 4 stakes and I took the measurements, I figured out that the grounds of the entire Lavish Lair property is on 37,820 meters. So this property is about 9.35 acres. Now, to figure out the cost, I looked up what the average price of an acre is. And Google says it's between $1,000 and $3,000 per acre. I figured because Lavish Lair is that symbol of elite, those acres are going to be worth a lot of money. So I multiplied all that 9.35 acres by $3,000 and we get a total value of $28,050. Now, before we get to the mansion, there are 3 buildings on the outside and multiple areas that we're going to need to price out. For starters, Oscar is dead. At least that is what the lore says. So we are going to be going through this entire mansion and property under the assumption that this is going to be sold at an estate sale, which means that every single item on the property is going to be sold with the house. I will only calculate some of the higher priced items into the final total, but more on that later. The first building we're going to be looking at today is the garage, and this garage is huge. This garage alone is 1,840 square feet. And trusty Google again says that the average square foot is between $100 and $500. But this just isn't any location. No. This is Lavish Lair, and all of our square foots will cost that oh so steep price of $500. So with this garage at 1,840 square feet, the total cost of this garage comes out to $920,000. Right outside the garage, we see a lovely, beautiful sports car. And just the average sports car is around $60,000, so that's just what we're going to be going with. The next building on the outskirts of the property is the maintenance hut, which is about 387 square feet, which will give you a grand price for that maintenance hut of $193,500. And next is the barn, and this barn is massive. Sitting at 3,229 square feet, this barn is larger than most homes. And for a grand total of $1,614,000, this barn could be yours. And let's not forget about the security system and guard huts outside, which will cost another $80,000. So between the grounds, the buildings, the car, and the security system, the grand price for the entire grounds of Lavish Lair outside of the main mansion is $2,896,000. Now, there is one more area that we're going to need to talk about before we go into the main house, and that is the vault. A bank vault of this size will be about $500,000, but this is not just any empty bank vault. No. This bank vault is filled with gold bars. Each one of these gold bars weighs 400 ounces, and there are a total of 120 gold bars. At the current price of $2,200 an ounce for gold, the total cost just to buy this part of the mansion and Lavish Lair is $105 $4,600,000. In my haste about all the gold, I forgot to mention the fine art sitting of the wall of some fish. And any art appraiser would clearly see that the value of that painting is at least $5,000. So, yeah, that's what we're going to be going with for that. Now, the total value of the bank vault and everything inside the bank vault is going to cost $106,105,000. Now for the main house, and let me just spoil it for you. This house is absolutely massive. Now, I'm just going to go through all these rooms and their square footages and multiply it all by 500 at the end, just so this doesn't become a 30-minute long video. So let's get started right at the library. So the library is 3,767 square feet. There are 3 main hallways on the first floor, and the total square footage of those 3 hallways are 4,046 square feet. The main entrance room is 2,109 square feet, and I wasn't too sure what to call this next room, so I called it the study, which is 1,205 square feet. The grand dining room sits at 2,109 square feet. The kitchen sits at 1,636 square feet. And let's go on to the second floor. So on the second floor, we have the first guest bedroom, which is 871 square feet. There are 3 corridors on the second floor right above the kitchen, which equal up to 1,993 square feet. And the first guest bathroom we can see is about 656 square feet. The next guest bathroom is 129 square feet. Guest bedroom number 2 is 1,636 square feet. The attic is 1,205 square feet. And there are 4 more corridors on the west wing of the house, which all equal up to 3,272 square feet. The final bathroom has a space of 387 square feet. The final bedroom is 538 square feet. Oscar's really cool man cave with the pool table is 4,036 square feet. The storage room off to the side area has a square footage of 1,356. The upper hallway is 1,076 square feet. The attic is 518 square feet. And finally, the observatory has a square footage of 1,742. Now that the hard part is done, the total square footage of the Lavish Lair mansion is 34,217 square feet, with the main house itself being worth $17,108,500. So, adding between the bank vault, the mansion, and the whole property itself, you would need to get a mortgage for $126,109,500. Now, it looks like Jeff Bezos is going to be moving into the Fortnite Island, because I'm not too sure how many other people could afford that, but hey, what do I know? There you have it. That is the final cost of Lavish Lair. Let me know down in the comment section below, what other Fortnite POIs do you want to know the value of? I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, subscribe, turn on post notifications, and I will catch you guys next time.